Hey guys, this is Awesome John 22 coming today with yet another review, and it's Warrior Class Optimus Prime from the new R.I.D series, and just gonna straight up say it, I'm not a huge fan of this figure. I feel like it has some pretty serious flaws. Most of them are associated with its size and simplicity, which so far with the other R.I.D figures I haven't really found to be much of a problem, but with Optimus it just feels different. He's Optimus Prime. He's supposed to be big and beefy, and this just isn't. And quite frankly, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this figure. It really isn't worth it. It's a pretty simplistic figure. Let's move it in a little bit, and you can see probably the best thing about this figure is its really nice head sculpt with a really nice face mask, a head that doesn't look up unless you partially transform him, which is already one strike against it. The chest is pretty cool. It's not his windshields, but I'm not 100% sure it's his windshields on his character design, though, so that's perfectly okay. The legs are very disappointing. They're just kind of these big blocks of blue plastic with the wheels just kind of unceremoniously hanging off of them. And no paint to break anything up, and we haven't really got a good enough look at this guy to know what colors should be down here, if any, so I'm not going to worry about modding it or anything yet. And his hands, oh good lord, his hands are pretty much completely covered underneath these parts of the front of the truck. There's a mod to fix that. I might show it off, but I'm not sure who did it. I think it was Piao did it. In a video already, so I mean it's probably really unnecessary for me to do anything with it. It's very simple. You just kind of shave off a little bit of plastic, and what it does is it allows these to rotate down just enough that you can see his hands at least. You can see him from the inside, but otherwise just dumb. He does come with this axe, which is pretty nice. It's painted fairly well. This feels though like a tide you over kind of figure. This feels like a figure that was thrown into the line just so that people would have an Optimus Prime to add to their collection. And I really hope I'm right about that. I really hope that this is just the first offering of Optimus Prime we've gotten. Because as of right now, there's a one-step changer Optimus Prime that's like roughly Voyager size that I recommend over this. That should tell you something. But we do not look at the figures in their robot mode first. We look at them in their vehicle mode. And I am still going to treat this as a normal review rather than a rant, which I realize I've already been ranting. But let's go ahead and get this guy transformed up through the magic of jump cuts. Not that we necessarily needed a jump cut as simplistic as his transformation is, but there you go. There he is in his vehicle mode, and it's so small. Like, so small. Like, seriously, here he is next to a Legends figure. Do it like this. It's just, that's ridiculous. He's longer, and he's taller, but this is a really small figure. This is like, I mean, look at that. It's like, it's just bad. It's so short. Like, here, I'll stand this guy up next to him, and he's taller like this than he is in his robot mode. It's just, it's bad. As another example, here he is with a deluxe figure standing over him. Imagine what size this truck would have to be. Just imagine to have the full cab and everything, or the full trailer and everything. To have a robot made from a car standing over it. This looks more like if Optimus Prime was standing over a, I don't know, smaller car. It's bad. It's just not, it's not good, guys. It's a very small vehicle mode, and on top of that, drift out of the way again, it's got this huge gap here, and the obvious feet, and the legs, and the feet don't even fold up or anything. At least on the one-step changer that I already mentioned, the feet, I believe it's the feet anyway, kind of become this part here, so they at least blend in with something. There's hardly any paint apps in this mode at all. You've got some clicks together better. Some black here in the front. You've got his actual windshield, which I guess his chest windshield must be his actual windshield on the character model, because that has kind of the same look. And overall, I like the design of this, the idea of it. It's cool looking. At least they did paint the smokestacks. I just noticed that. That's cool. And it's got a good idea behind it. But I mean, that's the back of it. Does that look like the back of a truck trailer to you at all? I mean, I guess there's kind of hints of taillights there, but that's it. It doesn't work for me at all. And it supposedly has weapon storage. You're supposed to be able to, I think it was something like, how was it, like this? Take this and plug it on there, and then kind of just slide this down. And it sits there, and it looks like a shark fin sticking up out of water. Even though, you know, there's... I'll actually come back out. Excuse me for a moment. Even when there's all this other area underneath here that this could have gone down here somewhere. I mean, it maybe kind of like that. You know, that wouldn't have stuck out on the top. I just don't understand it. It's like they, pardon my language, but it's like they just kind of half-assed the figure. They said, oh, they're going to expect an Optimus Prime figure, so let's just throw them a bone. I don't understand. Transformation could not be more simple if this were a one-step changer. You fold these panels down, you rotate his pelvic area around and split the legs, you split the arms and bring them down, unpeg them, and then rotate this and this and bring out his head, and that's it. There's nothing really creative about it. I mean, I guess it's intuitive enough. It makes sense, but I don't know. It doesn't. This figure just doesn't feel like Optimus Prime. I think that's the biggest issue. It doesn't feel like Optimus Prime. It doesn't feel big enough. It doesn't feel complex enough. It doesn't feel... I don't know how to explain it. It doesn't have that grandeur that's associated with the character, and it really bothers me. In terms of his articulation, you have these really tight transformation joints that have like areas of looseness. I don't know. It's like they're meant to go in specific areas. Like, it almost feels like the figure wants his arm to sit down like that, with the arm just kind of straight down, and I guess that's viable. But I would prefer to keep it more like right there, and there's this really tight area right there. And I'm being super nitpicky right now. Please bear with me. Ball jointed elbows allow for a decent range of motion there, and of course, see, that's the other problem. Is I was going to show it off, but then I accidentally just broke the toy anyway and showed it off by accident. Bringing this up too far, you'll get the shoulder caught on this piece that sticks out like so, and threatens to break it off and hampers articulation. As I mentioned before, there's no up and down movement. The head doesn't even turn any farther than that either way without partially transforming it, and then you only get like maybe another couple of millimeters, and it's really stupid. Hip movement's good. Full range of hip movement. Rotation at the upper leg. Just now noticed that the plastics are like two slightly different colors. It's not really showing up on camera. Full bend at the knee. Nothing in the feet. The really ridiculous looking giant stationary clown feet. Of course, full 360 rotation there. I don't think I showed that off. And kind of hip rotation, but it's like really off center and makes him look weird, so I don't really count it. And I'd probably be more okay with this figure if it had a few decent paint apps other than, you know, black paint in a couple spots. I'd probably be okay with this figure if it I don't know, was bigger. I mean, that's really the primary issue I have with it. It could be a lot bigger. There's his weapon. It looks okay. He can't really do a lot with it because it's really small, and his hands kind of point backwards like that at an angle. So he can't even just kind of hold it out in front of him. The best pose I can really find is having him holding it back like he's getting ready to swing it or something. But yeah, he's so small. Like, here he is again with Drift. You can see they're the same height. Like, almost exactly the same height. He's a tiny bit taller than Bumblebee, if I recall. I'm not sure where my Bumblebee ended up, or he'd be here for a size comparison as well. But I believe he's just a tiny bit taller than Bumblebee. But overall, Optimus Prime should not be this small, especially if he's made up of a cab and a trailer. It doesn't make sense to me why this figure even exists. I genuinely thought I'd be okay with it. I saw other reviews of it, and I genuinely thought I'd like it. And I just don't. I feel like I wasted my money. Yeah, that's pretty much it. This figure feels like a waste in terms of my collection. I don't recommend it. I'm not even going to do my outro. I'm just kind of depressed.